Sleep well, little Joshua. Sleep well, baby Jesus, for we have a big day ahead of us tomorrow. Tomorrow, your mother and I and you will all go to the temple in Jerusalem. Do you remember the first time we went to the temple? No, probably not. You're just a baby. But then again, you are a very special baby. Do you remember? It was just after you were born, just about a year ago. We named you Jesus, and we circumcised you, a sign of God's covenant with his people, cut forever into your flesh. And then it was time to make an offering and to dedicate you to the Lord. So we went to Jerusalem. We were so poor back then, we didn't have enough money to buy a lamb to offer to the Lord. So we had to use 2 pigeons, 2 turtle doves. We're still poor. You know, we tell people the night that you were born, there was no room in the inn, but if there had been, we wouldn't have been able to afford one anyway. We are so poor. I pray every day for our daily bread, but I secretly wish that some strangers would come to our door and bring us some gold and spices. Do you remember the first time we went to the temple, Joshua? That's when we met Anna, the prophet. Dear old Anna never leaves the temple. She's been there every time that I have, and all she does is pray and fast. Do you know that Anna prays for us and for our family too? She made a promise to do that. I hope she is well when we go to the temple tomorrow so she can see how big you've grown since last year. We're thankful for the prayers that Anna offers, her prayers for your mother and I especially. Why this world has become so big, much bigger than Nazareth or Bethlehem. Why this Roman Empire, of which we are a part, seems to stretch to the ends of the earth. I worry about you, Jesus, but Anna's prayers help. For instance, where will your life's journey take you? Will you follow in my trade? Will you become a carpenter like me? Or will your path take you somewhere different? Will your faith be a sign to others, a sign pointing to God? Or will you try to hide the sign of the covenant from the other boys at the gym? I pray that God brings you a wife as wonderful as your mother Mary. And if you do, I pray that you will be faithful to her. Who will you associate when you're older with? Who will you be your friends? I hope and pray you won't hang around tax collectors and sinners. But I digress. I was telling you about the first time we went to the temple. We met Anna, but we also met a man named Simeon, a man whose reputation was so good, he was called righteous and devout by all who knew him. Now, Simeon was very excited to see you. He came up to you and asked us what we had named you. We told him Yeshua, which means Yahweh is salvation. Yahweh is salvation. And Simeon asked to hold you. And when he did, he picked you up and he lifted you up to God. And I'll never forget what happened next. Simeon sang this song. Now, Lord, you let your servant go in peace. Your word has been fulfilled. My own eyes have seen the salvation which you have prepared in the sight of every people, a light such a beautiful song, I will never forget the words. God had promised Simeon that he would not die until he had seen the Lord's salvation. When we came home, just a few days later, after we left the temple, we got word that Simeon had died. Simeon saw you, and then he saw death. There were so many unusual things about your birth, the shepherds and the angels. But it wasn't until we heard of Simeon's death that I understood how truly special you are. You are the Lord's salvation, Jesus. You are the Lord's salvation. Sleep well, baby Joshua. Sleep well, baby Jesus. Grow, become strong, and may the Lord's favor always be upon you. Amen.